Me batch there be me quit to call.
The woman my way cannot refuse. Emma, take it lightly.
Because me you find the occasion in my means, yes.
I think should say when we are back, you try another place. I beg you. Because this one shows there's nothing to treat. Look at me bomb is running. In any go down, I have never seen this before.
Doctor, what can't matter? Me kwa kwa na masandi apro.
Yes. Okay, no na go then you need praise.
She don't say no she me Gina no. Chofi. Isolia hu ke ba shi be na mami. Mi pabufai. Intashi Itashi me mebo no fe na pe ni ko ni ma na mene. Ejake etomi boji no kalo. Ile ni ma ya don. Chata bo yemi. Nke gbomocho habo. Nke bi ni ho musu mi wode. Mi babu fa ni bode ncho o wa mi no te sho shi henyelo. E fe na me ho. Oni ma jenkumi inkunim ni henyelo hi agbo ni nake injemuko ni yense inje chata ko yense tata min babu fai esa ni ma wie na kashi etomi chata etomi enje shile mi babu fai no na mi mobo babu fai no na mi mobo efe na kembie ya ho no mi Micho. Tani ma fo ni ma wo ye ni ma wo mbi. Babu fai jota na mi mobo. Babu fai no na mi mobo. Mi babu fai. Tomi. Babu fai no je mi kaje enyelo ade. Shane mi ameyojo. Inye sejo, inwuwe ku mi njo. Babu fai ni bode ncho te shio amio. Iye mo ke yele akashi no feno ni bio bo ke je bi ni bibu a uno ami musu. Oba fe wa mi. Iye mo ke yele aka oba fe no fe mpomo. Shida ke je mo afo no da ake. Tomo bo ni nyisemba kebo. Ninte ni a face scan ni ke aha doctor e ke na no ko ye musu emi. She began to be committed in no way. They come here, my opponent, actually. She be a name Muswini, and I cannot obey Muswini. Doctor, I came in. If I cannot obey Muswini. Ona, Nisa and Kabake, Osanie, J. Doctorson. Hela Kumen, Yeni, Doctor Banyefi. Echo Yamuni, Doctor Nye, in a spiritual son. Of your only your spiritual me, Doctor, a 9 Benik Bana. No war or Sanye Solomoni. A yake dane Obasoni. When wa yake Oba Wabo, the Solomoni. Germany, new money Buffy. A batrono. True, but Boom Sake. Oba understand ake ene J. Doctorson ni spiritual sane wo doctor enyefi noni yo mi ji ake oba so yidane e wo noni make bo ake o fe serious o so ene ka o take it serious one day ba ke ba no ba fe operation e jake ina fibroid Ibanye ni ibahie no ahu biko ba hye ona musuro ke forbidden ona no wo min ke wa ke office serious solomon ni wo hu ye je ake oba wabo wo ka war with God the Bible ka ke all things are possible ona fan en me won ba mi to ni makbabo fan no wa mi ye solomon because ehani face can tomoshete bia ne last one ni afi kenu ko be mi unu ogbe ken against anya fe kon ye ko chronic ba no wo won ye gen ake
Obawa Buyaso. The war, honey was so. And Father, in the name of Jesus.
This one, President Atami Sidi. And I know and a boat from Hano Fiano. Doconone and a juem, ne a juem, Wamahi. In fact, ne boy, Dom Samina. Don't know come one in a hill, can a yapione.
Good morning. Panachomi Evelinata.
Okay, Sister Evelyn. Expectation from President John Mahama?
Expectation from our President Akashi. Ni nyumbodromo na kelema no ne. Eba akwa ke no fia no ba ya no. Especially education emi. Koni education ahimi wa ajoba. Koni gbe ke bia na me ba am school fees ka me books na ni fe na me sumo ke teachers ho akwa me joba. Ni ke boni me na me chuo ni especially me ni me ne amete retirement ho me na me best service me ho akwa me ni ne salary oni ka increase me ni me na me ye nuchumo mo ni me na mete ni ne na me ye amebe nuchumo mi don akwa me ho ame salary ka increase ho ame wa ya ka me chu no ko do mo kuma me gbo na me na no ko na me ko na akwa ba kwa do akwa je me ho ke mo ni me fe ni wo ya wo fe wo wa koni government ngbodro mo ni akala wo fe ni wo ba wa ni be ni expectation e ba ba mi ka wo hu wo wa no what she no fear no can hale enye eyi
that the Ghana Armed Forces is the axis on which history and politics of Ghana rotate. I quote again, the Ghana Armed Forces is the axis on which history and politics in Ghana rotate. As we are about to celebrate our 54th independence anniversary, we have to remember those who laid down their lives for this dear nation called Ghana. Anybody looking at the flag of Ghana will see a red color. They always say it is the blood of those who shed their lives. Who were they? Nobody tells about them. They are Sergeant Ajeti, Corporal Atipu, and Private Odato Lanti. They were going to send a petition to the governor of the Gold Coast at that time when they were shot at the Christian Ball Crossroad on 28th of February 1948. At that time, Sergeant Ajeti was blowing the bugle, and the sound from his bugle was re-echoed throughout the whole of Africa that by 1965, 53 African countries had obtained their independence.
It's good. A nation without knowledge of its history is like a tree without roots. A nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. How do we relate our history in this regard to our current situation? What is the role of the armed forces in today's Ghana?
Good. The armed forces is always receiving bad press. The good things done by the armed forces are not captured. If you read our dailies every day, it is condemnation of the armed forces. But our independence movement was actually started by the armed forces. And we want these things to be corrected and the history books rewritten to acknowledge that the predecessor of the present day armed forces, that is the ex-servicemen, they started our independence movement. These men, including the three mentioned, that is Sergeant Ajeti, Private Atipu, and Corporal Atipu and Private Odato Lamte, they served in the Burma campaigns from 1943 to 1945. They saw action in the Caladan Valley in Burma, one of the most inhospitable terrain on earth, infested with diseases, a place where the Indian army, the Burmese army, and the British army couldn't operate. The 81 and 82nd West African divisions, where they were deployed, they were supplied by air. There were no roads. They used their bare hands with cutlasses and machetes to construct roads. They constructed airstrips where supplies were dropped to them. This did not occur in areas where we have the Burmese army, the Indian army, and then the British army. Now, after the war, Burma was granted its independence in 1947. So also was Mahatma Gandhi's India, and then Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Pakistan. But the men from the Royal West African Frontier Force, Gold Coast Brigade, who went to liberate these people, were not granted their independence. And moreover, there were a lot of grievances at that time that they were facing. Hence, they decided to go and petition the governor to address their grievances. Please note that after the war, the British officers who served in the war and the men, they were given juicy appointments. General Slim, who commanded the 14th Army in Burma, from the beginning was made commandant of the Imperial College in London. From there, he was made chairman of the Committee of Imperial General Staff. That is the equivalent of the Chief of Defence Staff in the UK. And after that, he became Governor General of Australia. Not only him, a lot of them, like Montgomery of Alamein, they were given juicy appointments. But let's come to our personnel from the Gold Coast. They had nothing, hence the need for the petition.
Would you say that the things that these three servicemen petitioned for have all been met, granted?
Good. The ex-servicemen, when they returned home, they went there into Burma as a brigade of over 5,000 men. Then at the end of the war, they decided to demobilize them. And they were not given any war bonuses. Most of them returned home as paupers. So they tried to petition the governor. Now, among the points that they sent to the governor were the recognition of the ex-servicemen union. That was one. And then a unity between the ex-servicemen union and the Ghana Legion. Ghana Legion was formed by the British colonial administration among the ex-servicemen, and they were highly politicized and served by the British. And they were not championing the cause of the ordinary soldiers. Hence the formation of the ex-servicemen union. They want the ex-servicemen union to be recognized, that was one. And there should be a unity between the ex-servicemen union on one hand and the Ghana Legion on the other hand. The third demand was the Africanization of the Royal West African Frontier Force. Actually, this issue led to the establishment of Royal Officers Special Training School at Tishi, which carried out officers like General Kotoka, General Ankara, General Gowon, General Murtala Muhammad. When you come back home, let me talk about General Eskin, General Afrifa, General Okran, and so on. And it is this Royal Officers Special Training School which later metamorphosed into Ghana Military Academy, Nigerian Defense Academy, and then Sierra Leone Defense Academy. Their next point was that effort should be made by the colonial administration to employ some of the ex-servicemen into government organizations. It will interest you to know that as that thing was not done, when it was done in the UK, in Canada, in the United States, and all over Europe, in West Africa, nothing of that sort was done. In my own hometown, about 5 personnel went. They came home and died just like that, out of poverty. People asked them after all, what did you bring from the war? They didn't receive anything. And as I'm talking to you now, if you go to the Veterans Association of Ghana, there are a lot of my officers and men from the revolutionary days. A lot of them went home. And as at now, there are soldiers who have retired below the age of 50, a lot of them. And this is an appeal to the government to reintegrate them into some of the government organizations. They are very, very useful. They should look at them. Their next point, number 5, was the payment of the war bonuses. They were corresponding with their friends in the UK. They know how much they received. Then when the colonial government decided to pay them, they were paying them about 1/3 the rate which was paid to their fellow counterparts. It will interest you to know that when they were fighting the Burma campaigns, there were 50 to 60 Europeans per battalion. This was intentionally made by the colonial government to stifle the initiative of the Africans. But when it came to proper fighting, it wasn't the white who did it. The 81 and the 82nd West African divisions, they did it in the Caladan Valley. When they were able to cut the Japanese main supply route from east to west in Arakan in Burma. And the last petition that they made was, there were some of the soldiers who committed minor offenses whilst the fighting was going on. You know, we soldiers sometimes when you go to a place, you can imagine some of them were there for 2-3 years. Some of them committed minor offenses, and when they came home, they were still in prison. They called for their release. These are the petitions which were sent to the governor. And among them, the one concerning employment of the ex-servicemen is close dear to my heart. I will say that the president should consider that and give a consideration to my ex-servicemen who are still hanging around at VAG Clubhouse.
Now, considering everything that you've shared with me, I find it really interesting that as civilians, we have a certain perception of the military. I can see here that the army, the Ghanaian army, are great at both international and local peacekeeping. You keep peace up north, you maintain peace in the Middle East, and you are doing a really good job. Policing, we see soldiers side by side with policemen on our roads, trying to prevent crime and trying to fish out criminals. Civil works, many people don't know it, but the army does have a role in building bridges, building roads, building civilian infrastructure. Our environment and our forestry is also protected by our military, and some of our mining concerns come to mention oil and gas. First thing was the Navy. They should protect us. Why is it that we don't have a closer rapport, a better appreciation of our men in uniform? Could it be because of the role that the military played in successive coups and the governments that they established in our history?
As I said from the beginning, we are always receiving bad press.
But why?
They are always highlighting on the bad side of the military, forgetting about the good side. Let me start with our independent movement. No politician shed his blood.
And yet we don't see any of these names on our currency. We don't see roads and parks and monuments and big circles and buildings named after them. How come?
Yes, Kwame Nkrumah and Mussolini have been elected on his behalf. The big six, they are on our currencies. What do we have for Odate Lamte? What do we have for Ajete? What do we have for this Corporal Atipo? Nothing, because they were military personnel. Actually, no politician shed his life, shed his blood for this nation. If you open our flag, the red color there, it is the blood of Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte. These three personalities shed their lives for Ghana.
Do you think that the
politicians at that time, Kwame Nkrumah and Dr. Dankwa, were then also upon when the 28th February incident occurred?
But Lieutenant Colonel, do you think that these three men, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte, knew that they were laying their lives on the line when they embarked on a civil demonstration?
They knew. For example, Ajete Ladis served in the First World War. He was part of the personnel who captured the German Communication Center at Kamina in 1914. He was part of the Gold Coast Regiment who fought and seized Deepwater Harbor at Douala in 1916. He was part of the Gold Coast Regiment who took part in the East African campaigns, in the Battle of Narugombe 1916, in the Battle of Middle Action in 1916. He was also part of the Battle of the Nickelodeon Mission, also in 1916. And he was part of the Gold Coast Regiment which chased the Germans under Paul von Lettow-Vorbeck from Tanzania, present-day Tanzania, to northern Mozambique, from there to Malawi, and then to DR Congo. In the Second World War, he took part in the Battle of El Wak, 1942. He was part of the Battle of Juba River, 1942. He was also part of the Battle of Wadada in 1943. From there, he went to Burma. He saw action in the Caledon and the Kalapanzi Valley, and he was part of the 81 West African Division, which captured the Japanese Communication Center of Luhang. in which Ghana Armed Forces were given the honors, battle honors, New Hang, 1945. So if he has served under the bullets against the Germans in the First World War, against the Italians in East Africa, Second World War, against the mighty Japanese in the Burmese jungle in the Second World War, why should he be afraid to present a petition to the governor? So their life was online. More so, they heard that their counterparts in Burma had been granted their independence. Likewise that of India, likewise that of Pakistan. If so, those people who went and liberated had been granted their independence. Why shouldn't we also be granted our independence? So the independent movement, actually, the politicians rode on the back of these personalities into victory to achieve their name without mentioning them. Apart from the day that we were granted our independence, that our first president, may he rest in peace, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, mentioned the ex-servicemen. Whenever it is time for independence, you will hear about these three personalities. Mr. President, let us remember them. Let us erect monuments in their honor. Sir, Sergeant Ajeti, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte, they are crying in their graves. Let us honor them, and let the history books be written that the red color in our flag is the blood of these three gallant men. Let us remember them. It is the sound of the bugle from Sergeant Ajeti, which was reverberated throughout the entire continent of Africa, and that led to our independence. Let us recognize them as such. And this big effort of the Ghana Armed Forces, and by extension, the ex-servicemen.
Thank you very much. Lieutenant Colonel James Hagan is the Chief Operating Officer of the Southern Command in the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Army. He's the Chief of the Anamabu in Sanfo and Nufahini of the Anamabu traditional area. And he's been sharing some historical facts, some details, and also some current thoughts with me and with you. And I think some of you agree. The moral is that the army deserves more privileges in the world because they have worked hard for us. Indeed, they lay down their lives for our safety, and that is the greatest sacrifice that any friend can make for another. And what should we do? According to this anonymous quotation, we should treat friends as if they were what they ought to be. We should treat our friends in the way that we hope that they actually would be. We should treat them now the way we hope that they would be, and thus we will help them to become what they are capable of being. Lieutenant Colonel James Hagan, it's been a very educational and very instructive dialogue. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you.
All the best.
just a dream. It's just a bad dream. Where? Tishin, wake up and go and work. It's time to work. Clean, sweep, everybody, come on, go, out.
Look, I know you are inside. I saw you enter that room. Look, I'm counting up to 5. It is either you come out or are coming. 1, 2, 5. Hey, you what? Where is he?
Odinki, I hope you are not selling any more land.
Oh, Atipo, it's you. Have a seat, eh? What brings you to this part, eh?
But I thought you sold all the lands.
Yes, officially. But you see, this way you never get out of business, eh? It's simple mathematics. My last client got too much land for the amount he paid. So what I'm doing now is I'm just resizing the land for maximum profit.
Hey, Odinki, when will you change? Look, if you continue like this, you will soon have nowhere to lay your heads. You, your children, your children's children will be kicked out of this community.
Master, look, the ground is hard, but we go survive.
All for a bottle of schnapps and peanuts. Is that what you sold the land for? Ah! So what at all do you use the money for? Hey, Odinki.
There are more pressing issues. Like, how is the family in? Why are you looking so miserable? Are you not going for the match?
I just got an unexpected visitor. I didn't really want to see him.
Oh, Master, if anyone told me you were not running away from that landlord, I wouldn't believe him. See no evil.
I promised him part payment soon if yesterday's presentation had gone through.
It was called off. I hear the governor says today rather.
So, hey, Imaro, today is a do or die. There is no way we are coming back without any positive feedback. We've tolerated these call-offs for far too long. I will not agree. We don't agree.
Your sleeping place is at stake, eh? Tell the sergeant. You know, sometimes I think this civilian life is softening him. Sergeant Pa.
Sergeant, look, let's not get into that. I need to press my uniform for the match. Is your iron box free, Odenke? My brother, that's why I love you. My guy, Odenke. Odenke, please, I'm running late.
Come on, Sonny. You still haven't got your own.
If I had any, I'd have started paying that landlord.
Come on, and he's complaining when I sell the land. Yeah, take this money. I got it from selling the piece of land at Ofanko, and take it and go and buy some charcoal. Make me chop out few of you. I mean, okay.
Ajete. Hey, Ajete. This is not fair. I'm talking to you.
Yes, I know. My mouth is full.
I thought this matter was settled.
Look at me. Look at this Kenke. Is that how you want us to live?
We can still struggle together to make life better. At least your small business is picking up, isn't it?
I can't believe I've settled for this.
Well, at least how GaDangmes, eh? Hello?
What? Driving that old scrap metal of a car for a living? How much do I make at the end of the month? It all ends up in someone else's pocket. Jebulu Jimmy. No.
I prefer my husband working with his hands than marching out there on a useless demonstration.
I've told you, it's the only way to press home our demands and our rights. I have worked too hard. I have toiled, obey your idea. You are even lucky to have me alive. We risk our lives for their country and see our reward. The people need a voice to cry on their behalf. I am that voice because I am where they are. Fate has chosen me to shepherd this poor flock, and I intend to stay that course no matter what.
Ni Ajete, all I'm trying to say is you don't have to be part of this demonstration. Your life is more important to us than all the promises.
Yoko, how many times must I tell you that this is just a peaceful march, no matter what? Even the governor knows we are coming, and he's giving us the go-ahead.
How can you be so sure? You know these white people are capable of anything. What if there's gunfire and you are...
Enough! I am Sergeant Ajete. I am no coward. I have big dreams for myself, you, and the children. And I would fight like the others to get my life back regardless of the consequences.
Give all your fights to God.
Na? Kawumi la lebine.
Mpa. Mtoko.
Nunu oshwe no, obato, onu.
Nyami poshe fawo ose wo se ubeye shirao Nyami noma Nyami beo ao niye are nasi echeche kra nkomsha no bebe mo pipa weni nisio Nakache umuse Nyami noma Nyami beo Wayama mi Obeyama usmo Nyajidie Se obeyama wo Onyoni pa Na wadada wo Aoniye Obeyama wo Oniye Hare nasi Urefiana Nyami dada no kaumu Vampaibo Yajidio Nyami noma Nyami beo For the day, or dada wo, or best I'll say wo. Yes, dear, yes, you come on. Vampire of our country, Nyajiti, Nanyare, Musa. Yes, dear, obey a mamio, obey, baby.
Private Lante.
But, sir, it's almost noon. Why are you not in uniform?
Actually, I was just going to dress up.
Akenke bwaka pedo, akewa pane kenye moneno. Agbara kosa de son, akenke na bole ngwa fuleso. Akenke bwaka wiehu, ni wadeng sanele yomni mku. Keji na nokwe yosu, mba mode niya chocolate ku. Akenka mawolo down, dinka chow telephone hu down. Akenka johepo, nika jimi wada, dinka labopo. Shimo, minta make wake, noji se mo bujango she. Nika jake po wajata bumipo, nika bo bakpeke.
Mingboy. Oh, okay. Back, baby. Oh.
Captain Jones, shoot! I have heard of an age-old saying that adversity has two effects. It causes some men to break and others to break records. You, my son, have broken the two.
Sir!
A soldier in tears. This is groundbreaking record around here. Men don't cry.
Sir, but you know now. What are these tear glands for? Sergeant.
You save that against a rainy day, okay?
Like when your mother dies.
Yeah, when your mother dies.
But Sergeant, when your dream girl walks out on you in the arms of another man, just because you don't have enough in your pocket to make her happy. When you thought she was hanging in there, Sergeant, this one. Sergeant, I'm quiet.
I want to cry. Oh, Sergeant, I will not even shed a tear.
You know, concerning the lady, I wanted to say a few things. And don't get me wrong. She is a good woman. But I think you're not considering what she is feeling. You're not taking it into consideration. You know that women have their preferences when it comes to a lot of things. And I personally wish you could take your time, study the woman, before you make a move. What's more, I think your status will be raised after we have done this much. And then we can, swoop in, tell her how you feel. When she's all broken and all soft, then we go do the knocking. I go, yeshiane. You understand what I'm saying? So let's take our time, focus on the match. When we come back, then we work.
Fate is calling me, destiny away. So I will fight for my honor.
I'm getting tired dealing with these veterans and their desperate wives. I'm not a susu center.
Hey mama, pour me out another cup of tea. Hey mama,
what are you looking at?
Beauty. Beautiful handiworks of God. Oh. Ajegba Bobo. My heart simply melts at the warmth of your gaze. Oh, KK. What else could a man want in a woman? Oh, KK.
Enough. Time to go. Hormones are rising.
Oh, but I haven't landed.
Go get your shots and let's go.
Go? Where?
To see my parents, of course.
Why? Are they sick?
Private! Private Oko! You there?
Mimba! I'm coming, sir! Yes, sir!
Are you ready?
Ready for what, sir? If I may ask.
We're on duty today!
Today? I thought we were on the night shift.
There is news the demonstrators may return today. Commandant has ordered for double security for the castle, just in case. I don't think I failed to give you the instruction yesterday. Did I? You get dressed, come down, and let's get going.
Oh.
And where do you think you're going?
Work. I totally forgot.
Of course you did. And I'm sure you equally forgotten about our appointment today. Mimale.
Appointment? Mini appointment. Oh, Keke, wait. No confuse no Eminiefu.
Private! Private! Are you coming?
A little privacy, please. Oh, Keke, wait. Keke!
Aishi.
Keke!
Private!
Oh, private.
Private! Behave yourself. Come on, double up and follow me.
Hey, mama, pour me out another cup of tea.
Nyeha wak solia. Krong Asaf Yahoah. Amen. We come to you this afternoon, lifting up our holy hands. Lord, we have fought many battles for the white man, but grave injustice has been done to us. For we are crying to you, O Lord, and we come to you for help. Amen. Help us and our children. We pray thee. Guide us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Fellow veterans, we are gathered here for a purpose. As we know, the last petition has not been answered. They pleaded, we rescheduled yesterday's march to today. And as scheduled, we shall march peacefully to the castle. But before we go, we have a few people who have something to say.
Job! Yeah. They said they would give us a job and pay us if we fought for them. They promised us a lot of things. We lost our friends who thought that even if they died in action, our families would reap the benefits. They think we are slaves, but we shall prove them otherwise. Job!
Yeah.
I have something to say. Long ago, since they caught us, they can't do anything.
Speak tree, okay? Speak tree.
Make a tree.
That's right, Locano.
Oh my dada yensa. That's when they bet you almost say, Yenye Chobe.
They took us far beyond our shores to fight their enemies. Enemies they cowardly ran away from. We stood in. We died. We brought them victory. Today we rise to fight for our own survival.
to the castle, there is victory.
Made to believe there was a prescribed route for you and your men, for which reason I'd be fair and right to assume you took the wrong path. Tell me this is not illegal?
With all due respect to you, Sir Commander, the governor should be expecting us. And given circumstances for which we find ourselves here, I'd be fair and right to say you are obstructing justice because we are scheduled on the path to present our petition to the governor.
What do you say the petition involves? The contents of the petition are meant for the governor, unless you are the new governor. We have no business letting you know its contents. I'm under strict orders to protect the governor and the castle. You crossed the first barrier. Please, give us no reason to shoot at you.
Comrades! Comrades! We encounter opposition. He threatens to shoot at us. Comrades, I did not come here to cause lives to be lost. I will advise that we retreat and see how we handle Emery.
Private, I order you and your men to shoot at the crowd! God! Are you disobeying the orders of a superior officer?
I will not kill my fellow countrymen. No.
I hope that was not an order to kill us or a warning shot to tell us to leave our land. Commander, I think this is why you needed us to go to the war for you, because you have no idea who the enemy is.
You dare insult me, Private?
At long last, the battle has ended. And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. Freedom! 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 May God bless you.
People were afraid to speak their minds. You were spied on. Anything you said against Nkrumah could be written down and they'd come and arrest you. If they arrested you, they didn't ask you about what you'd said. They just sent you to prison. If you were there and you died, you died.
Who is the enemy? Fellow freedom fighters, the enemy is in terrorism. Which uses
calling on you. So it's a special day for us. It's also a special day for us because we are marking the anniversary of positive action. And positive action is a day we all remember. You don't have to be CDP to mark that special day. It's a day that gave us hope that as Ghanaians, we can rise with moral courage and speak against economic and political injustice. So today, we are not thinking about the past only, but we want to draw inspiration for the future. We want to draw inspiration from our fathers and mothers who led the struggle for our political freedom, our political emancipation. We want to draw courage from them for the next stage of our liberation, our economic emancipation, when we are going to take control of our resources, of our economy, when we can once again be proud of being Ghanaians. And since we are marking this event on your territory, we could not begin without paying our respects to you. So we are here to pay our respects to the palace and also to remember and pay tribute to all our fathers who helped begin this special day, like me, Kwamina Boni II, who was one of the main players of positive action. So we thank you for granting us those, and may God bless us.
Dele Ojoba. Babu kuma dabo ilemi Ojoba. Gbẹdẹgbẹdẹ ọfọ yẹ lọpẹ abo ẹna bẹ. Ẹkẹ ha awẹho mọọwọ. Kẹ awẹho mọọ bẹ. Ẹkẹ wọn wá jọ ètò arena. Wajue ekometo buko wajue ekometo James Scott she elebefe ha Kwame Nkrumah ewane de change be edaga biswo emewa even if be ba ko she bi e shida yin no ye fa bo Sing you fat. Yeah. Get all Kwame Nkrumah education. Yeah. Having been like a Gado. Yeah. You know the end. Yeah. You know the end. Yeah. Yeah. If we are getting a particle. Yeah. Yeah, the day of the yeah. Beji bí bàbá ó jẹ bàtẹ sọ́ọ̀tì àyà LDC àyà PDP PDP ẹ̀ẹ́fẹ̀ It's no, I get to share. At that, you also go. No. They got me up I go. But I want that typically Uruguay. No. I got it to war. No. No. Okay. Put it on by there. No. Really positive action. No. I'm angry. No. I mean, so whatever it is here, but I go down. Yeah. But I want to feel to be sorted. Yeah. Walk away, ma. I work at the Kobe. Yeah. Well, here I begin. The dream. No. Says I never shall be here. No. The few New York. Yeah, got patrol. Sake, okay. No. We be a good border here. What I was young. No. The lecture on everyone I am away. No. They not back. No. She go a hammer, the judge. No. Go and one way. No. The ritual day, it's a day. No. Don't be, cannot be trying. No. But I'm going to care quite all. We'll just see you look by. No. Never go here. They want it. No. Mommy, you can't. No. Saga, you can have the apples. No. Really, you have here. Go to the see. No. She don't know how I feel on the bar. No. Saga will be a day. No. No, I can't wear. No. Look my truly. No. Yeah, look here. No. Yeah. About if I get it. No. Yeah, it's all big. No. Okay. Yeah, big. No. So how do you get here? No. It's a good job. We go to work about here. No. If you want to go whatever. No. God no there. When they be there, they are not there. Everybody here now. Put it over. If you're back here, and I feel like it. She is she. Never have back a walk. But I feel like I'm here. Welcome to. Yeah, will be a comedy. Beach here. No. It's simply be done. No. 1 year was here. No. Why we come out? Legend, a big. No. The guy Dr. Flesh I am here. No. What's what Dr. Flesh I buy here? No. What's what they will buy here?
Now go the road, it looks so foggy, yeah. Yet we got to find a way. There's no place here to lay our heads, yo. And though the road, yeah, it feels so rocky, yeah. Children of Zion, hold up your heads. Never lose.
Nígbà chambe ekwa shode ni esheni lele e adumogan Rebalake TV3 ni ami pele ka kwanchi ne am actually ka show mo na shi atan ne la shi e program ashi ba fi shi je shinu ga ewo shi ko be da ko me we ko da me mu aye mu e ko na ya ni won pe pa won ni isani akelabato niga ke ni bese ke ni asren ke no mo safu ta me ye che fe ni fi ogan ke won wo fe ni wo sinu ni ga so na kwa ton ke na kwa ton fe na ga mu ni ke ni ga ke che mu mi fe ke ga fe mu mi ba gbere wo wa fi ale ko ni yeri ke ko ni yeri akeke ko pa ko ni ke ba tia ene ha TV3 bi fe to pa ja ke le fa ni aglawa wo ni ga ni ko ni ga ke la wo ga ma ni wo ko wa se bi ni wula ni tan in de jino bi ato ya akole si ni jama manche je puku ate jama manche ina bi tutu du na bi ni olupa bi ni ewo ejelu mo si han dani o bi ni ewo ke umene eta in ni jino bi ene eta bi ene wo kele nton gan ni wo kele wo ni gan ni e kele awo nu pa ni ko na fi ale ko le ga ko ni papa abasi Mutani Anisha I gotta go.
video na me yo abi ya be ni be ke ka me fe ba yo bo na me fe ba ba no ni yo mi wu wo ba ko wo ko no ni wo na wo obrayi ni ya ku ni wo ya ke che system mo do ate ni yo wo mo ba dia ni wo ka wo wa la wo je mi wo la shi wo gbe wulu e fa do ate je ba ni na ni me je che amekele ba gbata le fi an ba ha le ni kase mo fi o mo ni ba fe ni ke ti e ke gbe fe egbele wo ba je ni asere ko ni ewo le ka o ni won go le lawo
oko odumoyin
agbo chabeke
amen
ni afole le o na ke si ko deje o le bi no je e wa se ina kan mo se o la mo gan ni hello o la mo gan na be arúgbó la ni gan ma cheme pe la mo nu ba e fe arúgbó se bi pe ni o ma ni na be no mo se la ke je do mo si si ka o fi dai na wa to adeke oyo nibi ne na ke ya na na be ni so alo me mo se ba na ni la che ni ene ba na ni pese ni ma cha ni ni ayi bo te alo ye bi ni ma ka yi ni do wa se na ni ye bi ene ne nu tumo ne na ke abo ne je nu tumo bibi oni ni nu tumo ni chi wa ni nu tumo ni cho mi nutumo ebono na che nilaka mukuni kuje jama manchesia ni manche nabi nilaka ne ka kusu ni bi ne fe no ka nyenu bele ko nyene bele aka shi no fiaro no tawo ni to na abaton ibo wole noni aba fi biane shike ni no noni aka ona fe wa ni no na kone che wode me ni wole le ke ma de bisu ni le ni musa kumo eje me ako wa ko tebi ejo abado no awa chon bu no e ke sisi ke ble na pa no no e ke ble na pa e ga eji we mo ye no na pa e ko me na fi ole ku ene ka pa we mo o fe no ba no o na o nuye o na ati pa ke ni bi ni o bi ene fe agashi bo ogbe no ni maka agashi oyi si yemi si domo ni tashi alo ni na go yi mu ida ke ni bi no ba ni na bi ene ko ni mi ke ba ke ene wimo ene wimo le na pa ne wimo lo je ko me ni aton bo mo ni apa ke sisi enori ka pa lo ba ton sisi ni agashi aba na agashi wo ka kusumu ni laje de wo kono kemu ni febo ebe ba dum bona egbe mu no ba wi e ba ja tale no ba wo ni bi ana tale na wo e ma mi kra ni wonye meye na wo ne anupale isa wonye ni do me fe ko pa nka wo jina mi no ke fe ni tom anupale ko po wonye me mo se ko po bona me wa tale ke je mo ka si ko aka be tia me ate yo e sani o ti obi oni nu ata o dani enake lekeji alo lekeji sipi ana ina sho ne fe ona ga shi yo de je ne yin age exhibition to na ya competition age de ken sumu bi ne lekeji mbodi ne lekeji anu pale e sani ya do ya ne gamancheme nyenga yo e shenye no eshenye no e gamancheme amaka nye no ku nye jimi wa gamancheme yo gan nye fe nye jimi nye lu wa mi kenye mi aje nse nye gbe yemo shin sane mama yele sanogo ne sani gbomo awie ni nye me di taga ni nkonye nye luwe ameni be ko memblemo si be ko me aga o esando bu mo
Wakabula nya we wo fedi she mi enke ma wie ka me wie mi aje ma wie ha me gaman cheme mi no anya luna kan nye tashi nye ya asuku wa nya leno kono ni ya no kaje de shi ke leaders ginya nye leadi wo nimba nye leader wo ka ya kuma beni gan fe nye kwa beni gan fe ma fe wo muji gama fe ewo muji tenya leader wo ten alo mo ye nye keke kenye teshie nye no koko nye ye kombi benye ye jollof benye wo nye ba repeat a nye ke bagbo keke ka teshia wo mo koklo manche manja na fi na etashie ne nche egma ko ese ko me ke bia ne ka shi gama nche men yo nye men nyegma ese nyegma myself nye ba lu nye fe nye ba lu shi nye ga nye lead wo mini ya no ne gama nche be nye lua u nye tashi nye ho shikpo jie fe shikpo jie nye ho shikpo jie fe aba ho shikpo ko me aha me ifo jake pako a no ye bero ana agbe mo go ye mini ewo wataga ni nya ni foreign se baba he gan fe ye wode gama nche me nye ga yo nye te ashi nye lu nye wo ya pola mi mini ya no nye ho wo ma fe gama ni mashi blibo shikpon blibo ne fe nya ho fe nye fite fe mini ewo nya ansa wo gama nche me nke mini ewo namo hanye shikpon ni nya ho nye ke shikpon fe an Chinese riye te fiote nye tashi ye ga ni Chinese nyo ba ma molu e ba ma molu first watashi kenya te shie nye dictate be my life mini no mo hanye power nye fe ne ke kusu ne na ke kusu we wa fe ne kusu na be ko me kusu nye ke jangu na be ko me kusu ehia nye kase ani nye leader wo jogba shipon ni watashi wo ni bi ko me progress wo ya eko be ni shiga eche ne gama shi na gan no ke me na yeshimo e boss we e fe ne gota ke ni we fe wo muji hela gbegbe me ni nye tashi nye fe noko nye be scientist ni study noko nye fe noko kanye te shie abaye ni na bawo kote jon ke manche jibo ba telebo mi anje ke ba e bo ba yin ona jiyen na mojibo jegbo mojibo bo afobo nye fe kuma nye behavior to moduna na afonye no agbaguna na afonye je me je so mi nye guna na afonye ye luwa mi kenye mi jenye gbe gamanche me nye te ashi nye ho wo man fe bia ne kente gan bia ne ke mi to shipon ye labadi na eko mi to shipon yo su na eko nye te shin kenye te shin mo be nye ginye na mo jibo who born you dog ama kenya loko nye na chante bi e ba wo mami ko ka chante nyon ye gan bia ne aga se nunga si ywe mon tui ganyo bon tui ywe mo bon tui ywe mo won lu nya mo nya kase ame ywe mo na meba he wo ma benye na no ya no bia no ko te labadi business se fe yo nye me asante bi mba gan bi e yo kenye te sie ga show mi ya shika you have money what are you doing with your money nye tanu ke te sie ba abosu be me ne yin be dey drive to na agbo nye lu nye wa shikpon nye wa wo gan bi nye wa wo kenya de shi mi ma jenye nshenye gbeye ke gbaga hu mo sumo ya fe no ba fe nshenye gbeye ade ja ka je manche mi ni nga fole je musu na lele manche mi ni god uji manche ni nga jele alo manche ka ye ni enya manche je mu na emu alo na ni to mo be ni na ni oh go where you there manche ni ga enya ni newspaper graphic na ke se gu na me na gbomonesa anya yese amelu ho manje me nye lu ya chante mami No question about your guy, Jimmy. One day, the boy again. No corner my fable. Yen mancha me yen ba. Can you swarming my body jamo? Nefia no ni. Nefia no ni yo mancha me. Nya school. Nya wa me. Nya kasia di about the shikbon machine. Ni shikbon ni majeme. Ni can fair bulwani. Bulwani. Benja bana. Chinese be about his fair or the watch me army. Slavery, I know still. Slave nation, I know still Yagana. Onupa now me lead one man Bokwa. I mean Bokwa. Can you get the senior one man, Manchaman? You try me fair, Jimmy. What did he Manchaman? What did the army? What did the army? We don't need Manchaman. Well, I know already what didn't you was go. Can you small your army more manche? You want me, I manche. Ho! Chale mancha bi mi ya kra je gba na ya ni nkoko ba nyelu mancha me nyelu wa mi je nyelu fegota nyelu.
You are listening to an American Free Press podcast. Joining me on the line from the West African nation of Ghana is the traditional war commander of the Ga tribe of Accra, Nii Gwate Asuasa II. King, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Dave. How are you?
Thank you, King. Now, King, there's a lot to talk about today, but for the benefit of the listeners, let's just give them a little bit of background about the nation of Ghana, its history, and your place in it.
Thank you very much, Dave, and thanks to all your listeners. This evening in Ghana, I know it's an afternoon in the United States. Ghana, as you know, was formerly the Gold Coast during the colonial era, an area known to have gold and other precious minerals. That brought the Europeans to the Gold Coast. The Kingdom of Portugal were here, Kingdom of Spain, France, then the British, the Dutch, and the Danes all traded along the Gold Coast, and that became also known as the transatlantic slave trade. There was the trade in these precious minerals, later turned into the trade in human cargo, leading to the transatlantic slave trade. And in Ghana today, as Gold Coast, now Ghana, there are still slave castles on the Ga Coast and the Fanti Coast, near Cape Coast, Elmina, and other places along the coast of Ghana. That's one of the most tragic history of our times as a people and as a country. And Ghana gained its independence in the 5th of March 1957 and was led by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was then the Prime Minister, and fought for our independence. Today, Ghana is living in a transitional constitutional democracy. And as you know, on Friday, December 7th, Ghanaians will be going to the polls to elect president and parliamentary officials who will be leading the country for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, for the benefit of the listeners, King, give them some background about how you fit into Ghana, what's your position there, and a little bit of the history of it.
Thank you very much, Dave. I'm presently the traditional field marshal of the Ga tribe. And the Ga tribe, as you know, we are the traditional landlords of Ghana's capital of Accra. Accra is the capital of the Ga tribe before it became the capital of Ghana. And the Ga tribe were the first to trade with the Portuguese, dealt with the Europeans in the trade in gold. The Ga tribe has played a very, very strategic role in the history of our country, Ghana. My forefathers were warrior kings. They went to many wars, not wars of occupation, but wars to defend other smaller kingdoms in the former Gold Coast. One of the major wars fought in Western Africa was fought between the Ga tribe and Ashanti tribe, which took place on 7th August 1826, known as the Battle of Katamansu, or the Great Battle of Dodowa. The Gas won that war, and the Ashanti tribe has always, in their history, they have been openly admitted to selling slaves in exchange for ammunition. And the Battle of 1826 was a battle almost known as the greatest set-piece battle ever fought in Western African history. And after the victory of the Gas, most of the slave routes were sealed to European ships along the coast, and it was a major feat. Then my great-great-grandfather, Ni Kwate Kojo, was then the Supreme Commander and Field Marshal of Ghana forces in that historic battle. He declared victory for the Ghana tribe on Monday, August 8, 1826. And this was because the Ashantis had invaded the Fantis in Cape Coast, and the Fantis have some alliance and a blood connection with the Ghana tribe. So my great-great-grandfather intervened militarily by sending warriors to root out the Ashanti army in Cape Coast. At that time, the Ashantis had killed then British governor by name Sir Charles McCarthy. And that intervention angered the Ashantis and blamed the Ghana tribe for intervening militarily on behalf of the Fantis. And that's where the Ashantis declared an all-out war in 1826, and they invaded the territory of the Ghana tribe with a 40,000 army, a full invasion, but it was repulsed, defeated. And that was a battle that we all know was one of the great battles fought in West African history, and apparently changed the historic landmark and the history of the Gold Coast in Ghana. Perhaps it reshaped our history that we have today. And the Ghana tribe are also an ancient race known to have been connected to the old Egyptian dynasties and have traded with the Phoenicians. The Ghana tribe traded with the Greeks, the Persians. It's an old kingdom who are presently the landlords of the country Ghana, the capital, as we know as Ghana. So there is a very rich history of the old Ghana kingdom. Apparently, this old kingdom was known to have formed the old ancient Abyssinian Empire of Ethiopia. The same kingdom formed the old Ghana Empire, and they later formed the Benin Empire. So the Ghana tribe has played a very critical role in the history of Ghana and the Gold Coast. And to add on to the history, my grandfather, who was then Field Marshal of Accra, was in power when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was imprisoned by the British as we campaigned to gain our independence from colonial rule. And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, while he was in prison, stood to represent Ghana Central in Parliament. And even though he was in prison, my grandfather and the rest of the Ghana leaders in Accra were able to rally the people to vote for him while he was in prison. That act, that courageous act, left the British with no viable alternative but to release Dr. Nkrumah. And his release was what placed Ghana in history as the first country in sub-Saharan West Africa to declare independence from colonial rule. So the Ghana tribe, as you know, here in Accra today, the office of the president is on Ghana soil. The Parliament House is on Ghana soil, military headquarters. We have an international airport, international harbor of government. We have foreign missions, international business, banks. Everything that is needed to power a democratic country is based on Ghana soil. So the Ghana people in the history of Ghana have played an important role in the past and are still playing the most important role as the smallest region in Ghana. We have 10 regions, and the Greater Accra region, also the GaDangmes region, is the smallest region. But this region has been able to accommodate every tribe all over the country, people coming from outside Ghana, foreigners who are here to do business from other parts of Africa, Europe, Asia, Middle East, are all living in Accra. So my tribe, the Ghana tribe, and its capital, Accra, is still playing a very, very prominent role for Ghana.
Fascinating history. Land has been a big part of the Ghana history. And I read a breaking news release recently, King, that you have brought up charges against the government of Ghana at the International Center for Transitional Justice in New York over land or abuse of land rights. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct, Dave. As you know, every institution is built of the land. And as I explained just not too long ago, the contributions of the Ghana tribe towards the government of Ghana has been enormous. So many lands were given out to the government of Ghana to build institutions to be able to support the country. Lands were given out to the military headquarters in Accra. Lands were given to build Kotoka International Airport. Lands were given to build the ministries of government to oversee the different sectors of the ministries. For example, the ministries of roads and highways, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Agriculture. Every ministry that would be needed to govern the country, lands were given to them to undertake their duties. Lands were given to build government bungalows so that civil servants and government officials will have a place to live while working for the state. Lands were given out for development in areas of building schools, clinics, hospitals, recreational centers, vocational training institutes, and so many other things that we need as a country. But in our constitution, lands which were already given to the colonial British government back in the 40s and the 50s, some even expired as far back as 1958, just a year after Ghana declared independence. But as a country, we all have to support each other to further the agenda of being an independent nation. The Ga tribe made a tragic mistake. If they came out to demand lands to be returned to them in 1958, after helping Ghana declare independence a year before. So we kind of turned a blind eye to land so that government will be able to use lands to develop Ghana as a newly independent nation. We now live in a constitutional democracy. And like the Constitution of America, no one is above the Constitution. Here in Ghana, it's the same. The President of Ghana is not above the Constitution of Ghana. I am not above the Constitution of Ghana. And all of us to live in peace and for us not to go back to the feudal system of tribal warfare, wrote a constitution which governs the country. And the constitution is written so that we live in an environment where we can treat each other on a fair playing field. That every tribe in Ghana has its own right, and its rights must be protected by the constitution. In our constitution, it clearly states that the Ga tribe, landlords of Ghana's capital, were the ones who gave lands out to government. If the Ga tribe gives land to the state as the government of Ghana to use the land for a particular purpose, after some years, the purpose which the land was given was not to be able to be met, or perhaps the project to be undertaken didn't take place, the state must revert the land to the original owners as the GaDangmes people, as the first option. That is stated in the 1992 Constitution, which governs Ghana today. Also, in our Constitution is Article 20, Clause 5, which states what I just said, that when a land is given out for a purpose, and for which purpose or for a particular reason the state did not use the land, the first option is to return it to the original owners. But in a way, lands that were given government to be used for state purposes are now being sold. Lands given to the state has already expired. It has not been returned to the Ga tribe, and the politicians who are voted into power to protect the Constitution of Ghana have rather subverted the Constitution against the very people who even gave them the land, and are selling the land to themselves, flaunting what is stated in our Constitution. And politicians in government who should know better that as government expands, government will need land to build for civil servants and officials working for the government of Ghana. The previous administration under our former president, John Ajekub Kufuor, so much lands looted by his officials. So in the 2000 elections, the Ga tribe rose up against the administration of President Kufuor. The opposition then, the National Democratic Congress, who are in power today, seized on the opportunity to say to us as a Ga tribe that, look, when we come to power, we will give the lands back to you as stated in the Constitution. So then the New Patriotic Party government accused the opposition of playing tribal politics, and that they, the National Democratic Congress, were inciting the Ga tribe against them. But I'll tell you something honestly. The GaDangmes land issue in the 2008 elections is what pushed the New Patriotic Party out of government, bringing the National Democratic Congress in power. But since the National Democratic Congress came to power, Their pledge, their promise, they even put it in their manifesto in 2008 that they will return the lands stolen by the other government officials. But as I speak to you today, December 4th, Friday is general elections. The National Democratic Congress, the NDC, have never fulfilled their promise to return the lands back to the Ghana tribe, as stated in the Constitution of Ghana. To us today, as a Ghana or the Ghana tribe, and in my position as a traditional warlord of the Ghana tribe, I believe that if cool heads doesn't prevail, this land issue can lead to something else. Because anytime this issue is brought up in the country, it brings tension. The tension it brings is that everybody knows that what has been done is wrong, or what has taken place goes against the Constitution of Ghana, which gives us the right to take action. But as a people, we have to look around us and see what has taken place in other countries. A country like our neighbor Ivory Coast, one of the most beautiful countries in West Africa. Politics, tribal politics, so many things, ethnic divisions plunged the country into war. Ivory Coast have fought 3 wars. Sierra Leone fought a civil war, very bloody one. We know of the child soldiers. We know of Liberia, child soldiers, killings, refugees fleeing, refugees in Liberia even fled to Ghana. We know of sectarian violence in Nigeria today as we talk. We know of Mali. We had elections in Togo. There were violence. Ghana, as a bastion of peace and as a leader in ECOWAS community and also its leadership role in the African Union, have to perhaps keep the peace that it enjoys today, because our surroundings have experienced so much warfare. This was a lesson to us Ghanaians not to go down that road. But guess what? Every war taking place today in the world has to do with land or minerals or resources in the land. The Ghana land issue is a very dangerous issue, and some of us are very loyal to our country, but there are hardliners who would like us to take action. Why? Because they believe that even if we take action, we will be on the right side of the Constitution, because the action we'll take will be that we are even protecting the Constitution of Ghana. So personally, this is phase 1, and the phase 1 is to send a letter of introduction specifying these human rights abuses that has been meted out to the Ghana tribe, and that was forwarded to the president, David Talbot, in New York, and Suleiman Baldo, who is also the director of the African program. And this organization is the International Center for Transitional Justice. Their purpose is to assist in helping people who are facing human rights abuses. Example, what the Ghana tribe is going through today. Well, it's very sad, Dave, and to all your listeners, to understand that the land called Accra is a bona fide personal property of the Ghana people. My forefathers were supreme commanders of this land. We welcomed the Europeans. We welcomed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We propped him up for him to become Prime Minister and President. We brought in everybody. Rawlings, the former president, enjoyed so much support from the Ghana people. In the year 2000, under the candidature of President Kufuor, the Ghana people gave him support for him to be able to win the presidency after 19 years of the Provisional National Defense Council, the PNDC, and then later the NDC under Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. So it is very awkward and very sad and very painful, Dave, that the very people who gave you the land to promote democracy for Ghana, what has been stated in the Constitution, you officials of government who should know better, who should abide by the Constitution, and who should uphold the Constitution, turn around to subvert the Constitution against the very people who gave you the land to build your government in the first place.
Right.
Every conflict taking place in Africa has its root causes. People don't just get up and start fighting. Tribes don't just get up and start fighting. There is a root cause in Ghana today. If someday anything will befall us, this Ghana land issue is an issue that must be resolved. It's a security threat to our country, especially when the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, have stated that I have given you land up to these years, return it to me. When the time came and the expiration came for you to return the land, you turned around and sold the land to yourself.
How much land are we talking about here, King?
hundreds of acres of land, the prime areas of the capital of Ghana.
How long has this issue been a concern to you and those in your kingdom?
The Ga tribe started voicing out against the looting of its land, starting as far back early 1992, 93, throughout 94. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was our first president, also used LI, which is a legislative instrument, to acquire lands from the Ghana people. Some was land that he took, was what he used to build the Tema Harbour, which is an international harbour. He took the area for the international airport, which is the Kotoka International Airport. He took lands to build factories, manufacturing plants all over the capital. At least we needed that as a country, as a newly independent country, to be able to practice domestication, be able to produce our own cloth, progress in areas of agriculture, produce essential goods for our own consumption, and if we have surplus, we export. So it was no crime for us to give land to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to build institutions, manufacturing plants, corporations, industries, factories, and other things. But as I talk to you today, most of all the factories are being sold. And this that is going on, it's what has prompted me to bring this issue to the International Center for Transitional Justice in New York. And I'll be making a trip to New York to meet face-to-face with the leaders of the International Center for Transitional Justice to seek advice to be able to play this diplomatically. That's phase one. Phase two will follow. But I don't think people will like the phase two. But it is sad that politicians use this issue to play politics.
Right.
You come to power as government, and then you come and you loot and take lands that belong to the state and to the tribe of the Ga against what is stated in a constitution, which is our supreme law. And you expect there will be peace? Yes, there will be peace. But then anything can happen if the problem is not being solved. The people may rise up, and when they rise up, then we have an issue on our hands.
How could they rise up against the government? The government, I'm sure, has modern, sophisticated weaponry, don't they?
Well, Dave, you should know that we live in Africa. And I'll tell you that Ghana as a country, yes, they say we are peaceful people. But if you go back in history, the Ghana tribe has fought a lot of wars, and other tribes. And politics and politicians can do things that can plunge us back into that situation. And as the Ghana people, the issue is that nobody wishes to engage in anything that will bring violence or anything that will bring chaos to our country, because we have been enjoying some enormous peace. But like I'm telling you, nothing is invulnerable. If the Ghana people one day rise up that they want their lands back, what will you do? Are you going to deploy the Ghana Armed Forces to come and kill us on our own land? Well, you have to remember that we have Ghana people who are also in the Ghana Armed Forces. So then the whole issue becomes tribal. And when it becomes tribal, then explosion. It has happened in so many places. You are not vulnerable to violence. You are not vulnerable to civil war or tribal war. But we have to do what is right. We have to do what is right. We have to abide by our laws. The law must work. We have come so far. What has been done to my tribe? And honestly, I'll tell you, Dave, personally, and put this on record. In this land issue, what has been done to us, if this was done to another tribe, Dave, it is wrong. Because if in our constitution, it states clearly that do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, that's what we should know. So if my territory belonged to the Ewe tribe of Ghana, or the Fanti tribe of Ghana, or the Achim tribe, or the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, and Accra is their land, and governments come to power to take lands which is supposed to be returned to them, Dave, that is wrong. So it's not because I'm a Ghana, and I'm speaking against this injustice. And if this injustice is meted out against another tribe, it is still wrong, because it goes against what is written in our constitution. This matter borders on our constitution. And in most African countries, war breaks out when the constitution is subverted or when the constitution breaks down. We have to be very careful as a people.
Have they responded to your concerns, to your letter?
It is up to us, the Ga tribe, to take the necessary action to be able to bring the government of Ghana to its knees. This is not a fight that will be fought for a long time.
For the benefit of the listeners who are not too familiar with your country, the population is about 25 million, and it's a parliamentary democracy, as you mentioned, and the legal system is based on British common law. And of course you have, as we mentioned earlier, a military and foreign relations with many other countries around the world. And something I didn't know, that the Ghana Stock Exchange is the third largest stock exchange in Africa after the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So Ghana is not some little dinky third world country. Here we have a country that is about to experience some elections in a couple of days, and this could set the stage for something very serious. And what you were alluding to before was that if in fact an agreement is not reached to respect the Constitution, that there could possibly be some bloodshed.
Ghana as a country has enormous wealth. We have gold, we have timber, we have bauxite, manganese, diamond, pepper, sugar, we have discovered oil, but yet people are living less than $1 a day. Children are hungry in Ghana in parts of the country. We have problem with our water system. We have problem with the energy system, electricity. We have problem with our roads, sanitation, even in the capital of Accra. So there are so many issues that we as a country must tackle. We have issues that we have to solve. We have issues that our political leadership must be able to use the revenue of the country to change the lives of the Ghanaian or Ghanaians. We have so many challenges as a country that we have to resolve. We need any violence or war, any civil war or any political violence that will lead to something else. We have so much on our hands. So on December 7th, as I speak to you personally, Dave, and to all Ghanaians outside this country, you should pray for our country. We are here also praying, but also watching the politicians and their supporters, their followers very, very closely. And to the GaDangmes people, my tribesmen who are split on political lines, some supporting the New Patriotic Party, the MPP, some supporting the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, some supporting a PPP party and other parties. Well, it is your right to join any political party. It is your right to vote for a party of your choice. It is your right to elect your own leaders who will come into power with an ideology that will be beneficial to you as a Ghanaian. But different opinions shouldn't bring conflict. So to the GaDangmes people here in Ghana outside, and here in Ghana, those who will be voting on Friday, history will judge you if you are used by any political party to start any violence in Accra. We will not tolerate that. We will not allow that to happen. But there are things that can happen which may get out of hand and circumstances out of our control. But advice to my tribesmen in the capital of Accra is to that exercise your right to vote. Go vote. After you finish voting, go home. It is the duty of the Electoral Commission of Ghana to count the results, tally the results, and declare the results for our country, Ghana, of who has won in the presidential or parliamentary elections. And to the other tribes who are living in Accra, we as a tribe has welcomed every tribe in every corner of Ghana to the capital. Some people are working, some people have given birth here, some people who were given birth here in Accra has even not gone back to where their forefathers or their fathers came from. They have become people known to live in Accra. This election is coming up. It's crucial. As I said, we have a lot of challenges that we have to solve. And to the other tribes in Accra, it is your duty to understand that Accra is a property of the GaDangmes people. We have been able to live and coexist with everybody in the capital. We have inter-tribal marriages with other tribes here in Ghana. And we expect you, those tribes, to behave and make sure that nobody is going to coerce you to start acts of violence which will go against the long-standing peaceful nature of this country. And to the traditional kings of Ghana, to the other tribal kings, speak out. Tell your people to behave professionally. Go vote. It is their right to vote, and go home. And for you also to tell your tribesmen in Ghana not to be used by any politician or politicians to start any act of violence in this general elections. This is my call to my people, the GaDangmes people, and to the rest of the tribes in Ghana. I wish the politicians very well. I wish the president who is standing on the ticket of the NDC, wish him well, and his followers. I also wish the opposition leader and his followers well on Friday, and that they should also know that the world is watching them. And they also know the challenges we face as a country. It is their duty to make sure that we emerge peacefully in these elections. And my message also to the Electoral Commission, that they should conduct themselves professionally, and the election should be free, fair, and transparent, devoid of fraud, intimidation, and destruction to property and lives of any Ghanaian. Because one life of a Ghanaian is important. We need that Ghanaian to help build Ghana. So nobody have to lose a life voting for a political leader to rule this country. And to all Ghanaians, and to the politicians, and to everybody, my quote to you is that peace is possible if we remain committed to the truth. I repeat, peace is possible if we remain committed to the truth. Thank you very much.
The traditional war commander of the Ga tribe of Accra, Ni'i Gwate Aswasa II. I want to thank you so much, sir, for the time you spent explaining all this to the listeners. You're a fascinating man, and I appreciate your time, and looking forward to talking to you after your country has had its day in your elections coming up on December 7th.
Well, Dave, I would also like to say something very briefly.
Please.
On my peace-promoting mission to America in calling for a free, fair, and transparent elections was supported by Mayor Sal Pinto Jr. of Eastern Pennsylvania. The city of Eastern gave its full backing to Ghana to conduct themselves professionally in these upcoming elections. My heart goes out to Mayor Sal Pinto and his family, to the residents of Eastern Pennsylvania, all who contributed to supporting me in calling for a free and fair elections for my country. I very, very much appreciate that. Also, my appreciation goes to Mayor Green, Sandy Green of Kutztown, Pennsylvania, for her support in calling for a free and fair elections in Ghana. My support also goes to Mayor Ed Palowski of Allentown, Pennsylvania, who also joined in giving Ghana its support of the city of Atlanta, its residents, the office of the mayor, in also joining in calling for peaceful elections in our country. And also to the city of Philadelphia, to Mayor Michael Nather, and also the chairman of the Mayor's Council on African and Caribbean Affairs, Stanley Stroder, council members of Philadelphia, Michael Griffin, who is also the Consul General of Philadelphia, and other people who also supported us from Philadelphia, join us calling for a free, fair, and transparent elections. I appreciate that. The country Ghana knows that they are being watched, and my heart and my appreciation and gratitude goes out to you all who supported me in my peace promoting mission to the US recently.
Started from Ghana. Now my name is Ni'i Stapi the First, and I'm a leader of an organization called GaDangmes, Ghana Independence Movement. And this organization has been in existence since 1997. And we mobilized ourselves and getting ready to fight for the independence of the Ghana. The Ghanaians as a people, we are from Israel 2,000 years ago. But now in Ghana, we have been marginalized, belittled, and been mistreated by the other ethnics. So as the leader of this organization, we are fighting for the self-rule, self-governance, and the full independence of the Ghanaians as a people. The Ashantis, the Akans, and the rest of them, they have to leave the land of the Ghana. Our children need education, they need jobs, and we are not being helped. So, now the time has come for us the Ghanaians to fight for independence of the Ghana. The city of Accra is called the city of Jesus. We, as the children of Israel, are children of the Most High God. It is for all the world to know, and for the government of Ghana to be aware that very soon there will be chaos, there shall be mayhem. They must not take this as a joke. This is going to happen very soon. The time has arrived for the Ghanaians to fight for self-rule and independence. And we shall get the independence any way that is possible. We will not stop, not relent until the day that the Ghanaians are fully independent. We must do this as a people, because in Ghana, we are the least of all Ghanaians. Yet the capital city is on our land. Yet we are the ones that are most disrespected. We are treated as aboriginals in our own land. We are 8% of Ghana, 100% in the land of the Ghana, which is Greater Accra region. We demand respect from all ethnics. That everybody must respect the Ghana. Because the peacefulness of Ghana only exists because for far too long the Ghanaians have been mute, they have been meek, they have been passive. No more. From now on, we're going to be the aggressors. For every foreigner that lives in the land of the Ghanaians to go back to their own land. We will not take no for an answer. And this is very serious. As we're speaking, we are being mobilized. Tactics and strategies are in place. And as you can see, this is the flag of the Ghanaians. This is the flag of the Ghanaians. This organization has been in existence for 10 good years. It's only now that we are bringing it out to the world. Now, this is not a joke. So this to the world, particularly to the Ghanaians, that we as the people are fighting for independence and we shall achieve it very, very soon. So the Khans, the Ashantis, whoever is not a Ghana, be warned that we are fighting for an independent state of the Ghana. So all foreigners must evacuate the land. So we can rule ourselves, we can have education, we can have jobs for the Ghanaians and not being disrespected and belittled. So my name is Ni Obilisisabi the First. I'm the leader of the organization for the independence movement, and I'm also the king of the Ghanaians in the days to come, as chosen by the Lord Jesus, the Most High. Glory to His name. As the people of Israel, I'm from the tribe of David. From the land of David, the tribe of Judah, and all Ghanaians are the people of Israel, the children of the Most High God. And all Ghanaians know that. That's for the world to be aware that we are no longer going to be mistreated. So this is a message to the world. Take it as a joke if you may. But very soon it's going to happen. Now we are not asking for permission from the government to do this. We are telling them that we are going to do this for them to be aware. It's not a coup. It's a revolution. It will be done in the daytime for all to see. We're not going to go hiding in the bushes. We're not going to get up in the morning and attack him. But we are announcing that this is what we are fighting for. So for the whole world to be aware that this is a flag. Now we are well into this organization. We have a currency for the Ghanaians. We have laws for the Ghanaians. We have a coat of arms for the Ghanaians. We have a national anthem for the Ghanaians. We have a flag for the Ghanaians. So it's time now for all Ghanaians to be aware. Jamaican, Beshe.
Injeme Gabiye. Injeme Gabiye miaje ne ko yele. Ife video ko de chale ne ni inje about Ghana hi keyi na me fia me gege these days. Ona inside na Obama you interview me support gay marriage. Agbene, the president of gay in Ghana is analyzing the gay folks in Ghana. Aishi ama metishi ni ata males le who follow Obama say ni ame Ghana here ke yahe na me here man free na me ywa me he and down, up and down. That's what feel nyeta guy. Ota tro mi. No kanu elakwe. Na ame shona. Ame sholipo. Poki. Na ame fe. Nega nyeto. Gana bi mini ya no ne. Gana bi mini ya no ne. Tumobonu. Ajete so wa. Bene oni jiebo. Oni jiebala. Oni jina okeje komi. Okafutuni bibi. Nene. Gejibo. Ajeba amoko. De bala okokwe. De ke oko I love you. Oko imasho na ngene. Oko meno twe emoshoko twe. Oko ono ni pose imasho tu mo bebe. Kwe nyelu. Mini ya no koyo. Ya dwe momi. Nyelu ken passion. Gana bi ebi kenye vega gbene. Nyelu ken passion. Mini kwanye bo. Alo nyeshia no baje me de ba to nya be de sani noa ye. Noa wa mo yo. No ba yo. No ewe nu. Nyana. Nu ewe do. Agbene ka o ba yo nye ka si washinye. Gay right activist. Nye ma so mi njanye. Mi anje mi njanye. Onye mono kashi osumo organo no kashi osumo because mi njanye shi oye gay onye aye sebe mi minkebu onye so mi sebe no ko gbana you fool no ko egba odemona teviote bonu ganyo obamunu guna no ba mia to fiote no mo gbai kewo nu guna no ko ba wele pa min agbena ka activate ba gbo gbe no ko ba wele iku nyenye yusu nku no nya fite ku fe yega yenlu ken passion akra yenlu ge nye kayo ba to nye ge min nye kwasi ni chon nye kwasi ni kenya te shiloto we insho nuna nyo ye ge nye ba fe no ko ngbanye na manya wata bi mo wi ahu because me can sumo. No, not allowed in Ghana. I'm not even in America. I'm in London. Nye kakabaga, mini banyina. Gambi, je Sodom and Gomorrah ne. Mini, esani biane, sana ake shito akpanye bay. Kono na shi, osa adi bay yo guna. Bay je guna saneyo, bay toto deyo. Kanya le ona yidane ka gbe guna gbe ka ayemi because gbe guna mo sori o mi etati no nyefye nyan ka lugun tugui ba onye guna anye kwa hie egon lo alo ma to reki ni ke wojeme ni ke ba breaking ke ba ona na bo de fe ne ken ke ba wo guna mamra kada kenye sumo o ba tun ge o ba pa monoko ba tun ge sana ko rek na ka goguna na ka nguna akembura to mo ta mi na shi je this is not noko des hanofe nyepa abulu ga mi kenye serious mini monoko sumo no ni yo kasumo ka kwa video kasumo sande I don't care debo wa for me I go speak my mind. Bidi. Ho, break one here. Yeti ajeme mini. Oya ge. Jejeme ojo mo sana ho. Sana je na ho jo mo. Cause ojo mo e relaxi. Mini. Ye kan de ni. Ho. Yen lu ya gan gbe na kra bini. Toilet paper. We be na me Jimmy. Adevete nu nya. No ka wonya wasa wodu no jogba keko amo gbe o ka wo nugu no ayashi I love you. How can you love a man? Bonu nu dede nye na afọ gba ka oba reproduce no omo you know you are show by no me ni you no ni e wa fe before allo no ehin na fe before ekoton allo e papa fe before me ni gba yen lu god na no ko e fe before oh city darling you look nice why allo egugun fe before enyanyon fe before me ni you no e dey fe before nya ka mi me ni you no e dey fe before oh Johnny you for we ya you no who said to me here ke bogo ba ka chale na chalo e fe mi for minima makwele minima makele mata shi makasho ma receive le no ma jabo fuckings can I bula ga ba bi mi ma jabo fuckings ko na ma yibo magbebu fun mini ba anya na you look like lulument. The foundation of lulument is what you guys are becoming. Fundamental lulus. Idiocity mentality. Me city afanya idiot. Idiocity. Allo lulumensity. Lulument. Na allo nye jomo asement newa. Oh, idea nye ba ko na. I'm telling you, my people, man, they could not look for the pool. You know, my back home, because they get something the man matabia my you me cable, man matabia my p forever and ever forever. Mimi, why? Oh, in favor, oh, why are you spreading hatred? You know, in Kanyashi Mokwagbin. If my hatred is spreading, me feel is in there. You feel is in you. Ingawi, go where you there, for there, and more, for there, and then to the side. Nonsense. You jangu na cry man. Mono cosmo kakwe. Cosmo share mo. You can be a little so in your feet. Then you can show I can't be a share. Many. My bone fucking sija. My bone fucking sija. Me can. My bone fucking sija. I swear. Nonsense. No, sano okay, mene ako shi akpe abele okashi okabele ba woguna. Maybe your boy na fame. Nonsense. Bully. Anamu lu ye kampo le mi yen lu. Ye kampo lu polo agbone yen lu ye mi. Cause ya idiot. We mi aye ne. Mi engaji na ga go le ngala gbe go na e. Mi ho. I want to go. But you have most that day. Majale fucking biane. Kebiana here every day, Majale fucking. But Janye, to flay, Yaguna, Canofiano, Danny Bajom. Miaji, what is your Bajagana he fair? Who born you dog? No go, I want to go. Onye, Oya Guna, Onya Guna, Kumona, Guna. On Guna in 3D. Guna. I saw when I just let me know get all. What they would when I just on your magbele, I will on your I lost sickly on your mommy. Oh, with a look. Ya guna go, ya guna wa tele. Yeah, Keshitona again. Ya guna fui, Kejina bele. Ya guna tomu. Ya guna wa na ke wo floor me. Onu. Ya guna bebe. Onu. Mi jabo fuckings. Blibo. I go jar you fuckings. Ya guna pitinga. Pala. But check black onya nyona. Alo lile. Which one? Alo onya nyona aje na ho. Obumo. Like you can't be no kesho. Mega she wa ja fuckings. Koto no le. Mi man jabo fuckings. Mi aje. Mi ke kan ko mi to ashibo pa mi. Nobody mo here. Obana. Sko ba nu gam no. Gani you off obanu. Fucking girl you. Fucking girl you, particular you. Who born you dog? Who born you animal like this? Oesha. Boesha. Fekobi. Fun. Tipo. What did you mean, Bana? I go bora. Come go na fe with chop se to ami. Oh no chon I can rub you back by like bebo you wa. I go na no back you like never had no Africans. Yeah, bitch. What did y'all do na? What? What man? Yeah, I mean I go. What about choppers? Choppers. They chop that thing. Yeah, guna ko hospital. Yeah, guna computer without keyboards. Yeah, me a Jamie Jabu. Got febulu mene. Kai. Got febulu. No go. Ogbo. Me gabu. Yeah, guna Canon camera. Yeah, me use a Canon camera. Fucking you. TGI Friday. Fucking. What is happening, boy? Olu. You don't get mine. No go. When you saw me, light bulb. Light bulb, nebu. You're gonna nebu. Hair mui. Fucking you. Come on, there. Already there, sir. Come on, there. You want European. I'm gonna make pot off for again. Already there, sir. You see this, sir? Look at this. Only African hands like this. Fucking girl, you. Who born you, dog? Oh, woman, no, you're a dummy. Dummy fuckings. Me, gabu. A dummy. You want to get me and you jabbo. I'm going to jar you fuckings. I guna wa to the 10th hour. Oh no. Can you cry? Ya translate the all. Fucking girl, you. Fucking girl, you. Motherfuckers. Charlie. Where later one will go. Gambia about it. You be on Aje number 1.
You better subscribe to my channel and check out my website. Also follow me on Twitter, maybe Facebook too. I don't know. But woman, if you don't, I'll chop your mother. Chop.
My host, Bonafika di Mukunyeke, Bahili Banani, each of our woman. I've been a way. Kahano, what face cover for no not been a far. Care Fibu Cote. I chair to Mono Bayani Yaluba. God take a child, Ochike, being your little if you can only Nation. I've been a woman. And work where it's on the Himo can be named. Because Mono on the Ragman by Sunny, she can't know where me I'm only careful war CD, which Ghana city, young man. But Lugino Cash, I guess I don't know. Dan in the catch of Jinky be named. Allo, she and Luto Lubina, Keke, Unye Ufi. You were a woman, I walewa. Jackie, may you would that's it. May not he say. In the care for true began to name. You want more Uta Shika Ukewu Ubia school fees. Ke she and be cocoa me fe. Ke Uchon Shika wo for 2 and Yuba, Abanya Habo, Wafebo no Tawaba Habo, Aloye Potenkona Fuli Abaha Ula Adoti.
Ke Bodu Tawa Abahabo, City Body Botawole. Can you see the Ghana City Dumo? Ghana City Oha Edmo, maybe 5 million, 5 million, Ahunkata 8 million, Abuana, Quagenomi.
Breast milk has the right amount of fat, sugar, and protein that is needed for a baby's growth and development. This is said to reduce infant mortality due to common childhood illnesses such as diarrhea or pneumonia and other infectious diseases. It also helps for a quicker recovery during illness. A pediatric specialist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Frank Owusu-Setre, explains that mothers develop antibodies that are essential for the child's health.
When the mother is breastfeeding, mother is transferring antibodies from their mother to the child. The child benefits immensely. The child grows healthily. This child is not going to go to hospital frequently. So breast milk is the standard.
But often, while some mothers are unable to exclusively breastfeed their babies, others do. They give various reasons for their actions.
Because 4 3 months when they 4 in the non fuel because decide I can mahale ni fuel kuku fuel we need hale since then till the following morning then it is